This is TV5 News at 8, bringing coverage closer to home.
We're sorry for the difficulties with the Borough Council. More on that issue later. The polls closed just a minute ago, and the voters are starting to be tabulated. Good evening, I'm Christy Herman.
And I'm Carolyn Kelly. We begin our primary 2000 coverage tonight with a look at voting locally. As you can see by these pictures, people were out voting today, but not in full force. Voter turnout in this polling place in the Marwick Boyd building at Clarion University was low. We did speak with some people about why they feel it is important to vote.
Well, I mean, we really have no reason to complain if we don't vote. I mean, because there are a lot of the people that make our laws and everything that we follow, everything that guides our lives. If we don't come out and vote and pick these people, then we can't complain about the decisions that Congress and Senate make.
I believe it's true that people get the government that they deserve, and one of the ways that they can get the government that they want is by taking an opportunity to vote. People all over the world are deprived of the opportunity to elect their officials. We need to take that opportunity here if we want the kind of government that we would like to have.
I feel why it's important for us to be voting is because we as citizens of the United States have control of who's in government, and I feel that we have the power to put in power in the government. My name is...
We will have the latest results for you at the end of our newscast tonight and, of course, tomorrow at 8.
You may have been watching it on TV5 tonight, the Clarion Borough Council meeting. Well, if you missed that part of the meeting, and we did have some difficulties, Mark Despotakis is here with us to give us an update. Mark?
Well, it's live television. What can we say? That's what happened. We had a little bit of technical difficulties, if you were watching, as you could see. What we are going to do, though, is we are going to attempt to re-air that for you tomorrow night. We were just having some problems with the signal back here, but we will be able to get a good, clean copy for you on the air tomorrow. Stay tuned. Maybe later in this newscast we'll let you know what time. We're not really sure what time we'll be able to air that because it depends on, of course, how long Borough Council goes. But as you were watching, if you could see through the lines of the screen there, the big issue tonight was the sidewalks. If you're a resident of Clarion, I'm sure you may have received a letter saying that you need to fix your sidewalks. Well, that was a big issue of contention. They were talking a lot about that. It was actually prompted by some residents talking about what needs to be done in the borough. So they took care of that, and also they were discussing that for most of the meeting. That prompted a larger discussion. So, of course, tomorrow we will, as I said, re-air Borough Council, and we will have a complete recap of the officially aired Borough Council for you tomorrow night on our news at 8 o'clock. So I will be in with that. Once again, we do apologize for the technical difficulties. We're going to try to get that on for you tomorrow. Back to you, Christine and Carolyn.
Thanks, Mark. Like Mark said, you can look for that full update tomorrow. Clarion County's Facility Review Commission may be closed or close to issuing a final report. Our Dana Graver has that story. Dana?
Clarion County's Facilities Planning Committee will hold its last meeting closed to the public on April 5th. The meeting will finalize its recommendations to the commissioners at the first of 2 meetings with the commissioners. The committee will review existing conditions, including county-owned property and leased properties. At the second meeting, the committee will discuss the bulk of their investigations. The committee chair, William Kaufman, said they will give the commissioners a pro and con list for each recommendation. Because the decisions are made by the commissioners, the committee wants to ensure the commissioners make an informed decision about the future of the county's facilities.
We will be reviewing existing county facilities and functions and making recommendations to the commissioners for maybe a more efficient use of facilities.
They will also re-examine past ideas such as building a new building next to the former county jail to house county human service agencies, restoring the former county jail, evaluating land and existing buildings, and the commissioners will also look into continuing the lease of the Haskell building, which houses the county adult and juvenile probation officials and the Clarion office complex. In Clarion County, Dana Graver, TV5 News.
Thanks, Dana. That closed meeting takes place tomorrow, and then from there, it is expected that the information will be soon presented to the commissioners.
Governor Ridge has set aside almost $10 million to monitor and act against mosquitoes that could be invading Clarion County and the entire state. County Commissioner Donna Hartle has been appointed as the liaison to the state for Clarion County's efforts to get rid of the bugs. The mosquitoes they are fighting are the same ones which invaded New York City last year and can infect humans with a potentially fatal brain disease. Officials say that the disease has been affecting birds and horses and thus can be transmitted to humans. So how can you prevent mosquitoes from invading your house and neighborhood? Here are some tips. Dispose of any containers such as tin cans in plastic containers where water can collect. Clean clogged roof gutters yearly, especially if your gutters tend to clog frequently. Clean and chlorinate swimming pools, and grade landscape properly to eliminate pools or puddles of standing water. Mosquitoes will develop in any water that is standing for more than 4 days.
One of Clarion County's major employers will probably survive its bankruptcy case. The news comes from our newspaper exchange partner, the Clarion News. Clarion Bachelor is working out of a Chapter 11 bankruptcy proceedings and could possibly expand in the near future. A plan has been put into place and it's set to satisfy creditors, debt, and meet all of the legal requirements. The bankruptcy process should be complete within the next 6 months. Coming up, Clarion University has some more room to grow.
And later, the Elian Gonzalez saga continued today. We'll bring you up to the latest.
All this and more as TV5 News brings coverage closer to home, but first, here's a look at tonight's winning lottery numbers.
This portion of the programming was made possible through a grant by the Captain Loomis Hotel and Restaurant. The Captain Loomis Hotel and Restaurant is located at 540 Main Street in Clarion and offers dining as well as a nightclub. The restaurant and nightclub are open 7 days a week for your convenience. Call the Captain Loomis Hotel and Restaurant 226-8400. This portion of the programming was made possible through a grant by Clarion Office Equipment. Clarion Office Equipment is located on Greenville Avenue Extension in Clarion. They can handle all your office equipment and computer needs. They are open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can call Clarion Office Equipment at 226-8753.
It's not just about making plans. It's about making a difference and taking an interest, not just earning it. For Jones, it's about more than investing. It's about knowing you. Edward Jones, investing in you and your dreams.
In Clarion, see Gary Martin, located on Main Street. Phone 226-7896.
You know, it wouldn't have been our name for a movie to come out now, and I think I'm going to make the movie or write the book. It would be a great book to have, and you can call to get her book. You can also find it online. And I have a feeling I'm going to be rather opinionated, people I know. So let's ask them about scheduling. Why is it that students have such a problem here with?
Tune into Feedback with Mark Despotakis every Tuesday and Wednesday night beginning at 7:30 p.m.
We're totally out of time. No time to talk to you. We'll see you tomorrow.
This is TV5 News at 8, live with Christy Herman, Carolyn Kelly, Brian Cook on sports, and Courtney Mays with the TV5 Weather Center forecast. Now from the news team bringing coverage closer to home, this is TV5 News.
Welcome back to TV5 News Live at 8.
In tonight's university news, the Clarion University Foundation is now the owner of a 3-unit apartment building in Shippensville. The donation of the apartment comes from Charles L. Motter and Arthur E. Fleming. Both have made donations to the foundation in the past. Clarion University has no long-term plan for the property, but any money made off of it will help the foundation support the university and its students.
Rails to Trails is a program that converts old rail lines into trails for biking and hiking. As our Kate Skinner reports, Rails to Trails could be coming to Limestone Township soon.
It's been a long time since the train has traveled the track, what is known as Piney Branch through Township. Now a decision must be made of the future of the railway. The Piney Branch through Limestone track was once a part of the Conrail system and PA Railroad before that. The Pittsburgh and Shawmut Railroad bought the tracks from Conrail in the early 1990s and sold the line to Joe Kovalchik of Indiana, PA last year. The State Public Utility Commission approved the abandonment of the line by the Pittsburgh and Shawmut earlier this month.
Kovalchik told the Clarion News he is looking for various possibilities for the rail line, including a rails-to-trails project or a tourist excursion train that would run from Brookville to near the Clarion River in Piney Township. What becomes of the rails will be officially decided by the PUC based on what Kovalchik proposes. Whatever happens, the PUC wants to make sure all the structures are safe and maintained. In Clarion, Kate Skinner, TV5 News.
Moving back to our primary 2000 coverage, low voter turnout is what was expected at the polls today. Even with the hotly contested Democratic Senate race, election offices around the state have only been predicting turnouts in the 30s and 40% range. One reason experts are pointing to as a possibility for low turnout may be attributed to today's rains and overcast skies. Does the idea of voting on the internet seem like a strange idea to you? Well, it may become reality. Yesterday, Pittsburgh City Council asked the Senate legislature to order a study of online voting in Pennsylvania. Pittsburgh City Councilman Dan Cohen says that internet voting in Arizona's March primary resulted in the largest voter turnout ever. Councilman Jim Furlow is against the plan, though saying that it may leave people without internet access in the dark, and that perhaps a study of the internet voting should be conducted by a nonpartisan group.
A 7th grader in the Pittsburgh area Woodland Hills School District now must do 100 hours of community service and pay a $300 fine for starting a fight that the teacher broke up with pepper spray. District Justice Ross Ciopa says the girl was convicted of one count of disorderly conduct. A second student has been ordered to appear in court Thursday in connection with the incident. The teacher who ended the fight with the pepper spray violated district policy but was not charged. Police in the Philadelphia area are investigating a shooting that took place in the bathroom of the Philadelphia Criminal Justice Center. No one was injured, but authorities are still looking for the person who fired the shot. The incident is believed to be accidental because it happened in a private bathroom for court employees and police officers only. The bullet is still lodged in a stall divider. Coming up, the Elian Gonzalez case could be resolved soon.
And will the rain go away soon? Courtney Maines will have your TV5 Weather Center forecast next to answer that question.
All this and more after the break, but first, let's look at tonight's stock report.
Programming was made possible through a grant by Curly Tires. Curly Tires is located on Greenville Avenue Extension in Clarion. They offer a wide variety of tires to meet your car or truck needs. Curly Tire is open Monday through Saturday. Call 226-6657. That's Curly Tire. Phone 226-6657.
This portion of the programming was made possible through a grant by Timberland's Restaurant. The Timberland's Restaurant is located near Interstate 80 and Route 68 in the Holiday Inn. The Timberland's Restaurant is open daily 6:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. and from 4 to 10 p.m. Call 226-8850.
This portion of the programming was made possible by the Pizza Pub. The Pizza Pub is located at 1306 East Main Street in Clarion and offers radio dispatch delivery. Call 226-8721. The Pizza Pub is open 7 days a week for your convenience. Phone them at 226-8721. When other stations are showing you their boring programming, only one station is bringing news coverage closer to home.
Now let's go, you'll hear first on 5.
Every Tuesday and Wednesday night at 8 p.m., join the area's news leader, TV5 News. Tune in for the latest in local, regional, state, and national news. Plus, with our newspaper exchange partner, the Clarion News, teaming up to bring news coverage closer to home every Tuesday and Wednesday night at 8 p.m.
Welcome back to TV5 News Live at 8. Immigration officials are hoping to begin the custody transfer of 6-year-old Elian Gonzalez to his father soon. The boy's father, Juan Gonzalez, has received a visa to come to the U.S., but it is unclear when he will be able to reunite with his son. The possibility of Elian returning to Cuba has made protesters in a Miami break down a barrier while shouting Elian is not leaving. One woman reported that protesters broke through the barrier because they saw a bus and thought that it was a bus containing INS officials coming to take Elian away. Former President Ronald Reagan and his wife Nancy may receive the Congressional Gold Medal. A resolution cleared the House yesterday and now moves to the Senate. It praises Reagan for his leadership and for bringing in an end to the Cold War. It also recognizes Mrs. Reagan for her work to end alcohol and drug use among the nation's youth.
A new poll shows varying issues at the forefront of the presidential race. A new ABC News Washington Post poll shows that Al Gore has an edge of the issue of education, but George W. Bush has an edge on issues such as taxes and crime. The poll also shows voters are saying education is the most important issue when it comes to choosing a president. A rap concert in Boston last night turned violent. 5 people were stabbed and 1 remains in critical condition. Another person was hit on the head with a bench. 1 person is under arrest, and top acts at the concert never got to perform due to emergency workers treating the victims. Some audience members chanted for their money back since tickets did cost over $50.
Yesterday's ruling by federal judge Thomas Penfield Jackson that Microsoft keeps, in his words, an impressive thumb on competitors by stifling innovation and hurting consumers has both sides predicting their own ultimate victory. The government found Microsoft guilty of violating U.S. antitrust laws, but Microsoft says that it will win on appeal. The ruling may have had some effect on other stock prices. The Dow and the tech-heavy NASDAQ both had some major ups and downs today, but the Dow ended down near 50 points and the NASDAQ was down around 75 points. With the rise and fall of the stock market, it may make you want to look for safe stock investments. But how safe are those investments? Gary Martin joins us with tonight's Financial Beat to explain.
If you're concerned about stock prices jumping up and down, you might be tempted to look for safer alternatives. Be careful, though. Some of these so-called safe investments will barely outpace inflation, which means you could lose purchasing power over time. Historically, only stocks have significantly outpaced inflation. In fact, from 1926 through 1998, stocks earned an inflation-adjusted return of 8.1%, compared to less than 1% for cash instruments such as Treasury bills. Long-term corporate bonds yielded an inflation-adjusted 2.6%. Of course, stocks will always have price swings, but the longer you hold your stocks, the more these fluctuations will even out. And to truly reduce volatility, your best move is to build a diversified portfolio of stocks, bonds, and other investments. That's the kind of safety that you can live with. For TV5's Financial Beat, I'm Gary Martin, your Clarion Edward Jones representative, member SIPC.
If you have any questions you'd like to see answered on Financial Beat, send them to Financial Beat, TV5, Becker Hall, Clarion University, Clarion, PA, 16214. We cannot answer individual questions.
Well, I guess the saying holds true about April showers. Courtney Mains now joins us with the TV5 Weather Center forecast. Courtney?
Well, April got off to a bad start today with today's rain showers on and off. But let's take a look at the maps to see if clear skies are ahead. Taking a look outside earlier today, we saw some cloudy skies in Clarion today, and unfortunately these cloudy skies are going to stick with us through the rest of the day, and we can expect to see some rain tonight as well. Moving on to the satellite map, you can see areas in the northeast and especially areas of Pennsylvania under some heavy cloud coverage today, which is going to bring us some more rain later on this evening and the rest of the week as well. Moving on to the front map, you can see areas out in the west are experiencing a high pressure system today, which is going to warm things up for them and bring them some well-deserved dry weather as well. As we move further east up into the Great Lakes area, we can see they're mixing in with the low pressure system as well as Pennsylvania, which is going to bring temperatures down a little bit and bring us more precipitation. And taking a look at the temperature map today, it's finally starting to feel like spring out there as temperatures begin to rise. Up in the north, they're seeing chilly temperatures up in the 30s and 40s, but as we extend down from the west all the way over into the east, they're up to the 50s today, and from areas of the west down into Texas, they're up into the 60s and even 70s today. Now finally moving on to the precipitation map, we can see the areas out in the west are seeing some clear skies today, pretty much completely clear until we move over into the areas of the east. We're again up in the Great Lakes seeing some snow flurries today, and as we extend further eastward, temperatures are warming up, bringing some rain showers, which are accompanied by some lightning and thunder out there as well. Now let's take a look at the 5-day forecast. Taking a look at Wednesday, we can see partly cloudy with a high of 48, a low of 34. Thursday, rain showers with a high of 61, a low of 34. On Friday, partly cloudy skies again with a high of 64, a low of 38. On Saturday, rain again with a high of 56, a low of 32. And on Sunday, more rain with a high of 51 and a low of 28. And that's the latest in weather.
Thanks, Courtney. Okay, well, when TV5 News returns, Brian Cook will join us with the sports report.
This portion of the programming was made possible through a grant by the Carpet Barn. The Carpet Barn is located at 470 South 5th Avenue in Clarion. The Carpet Barn is open Monday through Saturday for all your carpet needs. So call the Carpet Barn, 226-7332.
Standing out from the crowd is easy when you stop in at Fashion Bug, located in the Clarion Mall. Whether you're looking for junior trendy, girls, or fashion for women, they have it all with many different styles. With our newly expanded shoe and accessory department, you're surely to find that special touch to enhance that new outfit. And if you have a fashion question, our experts are here to help. That's Fashion Bug, located in the Clarion Mall, just off Exit 9 of Interstate 80. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. till 9 p.m. Sunday from noon till 5.
This portion of the programming was made possible through a grant by Fox's Pizza Den. Fox's Pizza Den is located on Old Route 66 in Clarion and offers all-day delivery. Phone 226-5555. That's 226-5555. Fox's Pizza Den is open 7 days a week for your convenience. Phone 226-5555.
Portion of the programming was made possible through a grant by Mulligan's Lounge. Mulligan's Lounge is located near I-80 and Route 68 in the Holiday Inn. Mulligan's Lounge is open 7 days a week for your convenience. Call 226-8850.
Welcome back to TV5 News Live at 8. The NCAA has its first champion of the millennium, and Brian Cook joins us with the latest in the sport. Brian?
Thanks, Christy. Michigan State University claimed its second national title last night as they beat Florida 89-76. The Spartans closed the season with 11 straight wins, and they are also the first Big Ten team to win the championship since Michigan did in 1989. This was Florida's first trip to the championship game. Mateen Cleaves, who returned for his senior year, was named Final Four MVP. With just over 16 seconds remaining, Cleaves laid on the floor in pain with what he thought was another broken ankle, which kept him out of 13 games. This just turned out to be a severe sprained ankle. Cleaves returned to the game with 11:51 remaining. He added 18 points to the victory. Mateen was a major part of MSU's recruiting, not only for basketball, but for most of the university sports. I am sure that you will see a lot of Cleaves in the next year in the NBA. It was a hockey night in Pittsburgh last night. Alexei Kovalev led the way with 2 goals in 33 seconds to help the Penguins hold 7th place in the playoff race with 84 points, with 3 points more than Buffalo. The Hurricanes fell into 9th place, which is a non-playoff position. The Penguins have 3 games left, all on the road. Around the NHL last night, the Sabres were over the Maple Leafs 3-2, Panthers over the Devils 5-2, and the Capitals stomped the Rangers 4-1. Yesterday was opening day for Major League Baseball. Some scores around the NL were the Braves over the Rockies 2-0, Mets over the Padres 2-1, Cardinals over the Cubs 7-1, Reds 3, Brewers 3, Dodgers 10, Expos 4. In the American League, the Rangers over the White Sox 10-4, Blue Jays 5, Royals 4, Devil Rays 7, Twins zip. The Pittsburgh Pirates are playing right now after last night's opener was postponed due to the rain. This will be the last Pirate opener at Three River Stadium. The Steelers brought Marshall quarterback Chad Pennington into town yesterday. The big question is if the Steelers want to add another quarterback to the roster. Right now they have Cordell Stewart, Kent Graham, and Anthony Wright. Pennington is considered the best quarterback in the draft this year. The NFL draft opens on April 15th, and the Steelers have the 8th pick in the first round. Richard Bergender, a freshman secondary ed earth science major and former runner for Clarion's cross-country team, made news last week. He ran 31 miles in the GNC Marathon in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He clocked in at 3 hours, 43 minutes, and 20 seconds. He placed third, which is 3 minutes behind Ryan Melcher, who is a runner for Canada's national track team. Great job to Rich. For TV5 Sports, I'm Brian Cook. Back to you, Carolyn.
Thanks, Brian. Now over to Corey Pittman with a look at this week's Entertainment Beat calendar of events.
Good evening and welcome to this edition of Community Calendar. On Wednesday, April 5th, there will be a Leadership Development Series in Gemmel 250-252 at 7 p.m. On Thursday, April 6th, a wellness fair will be held in Tippin Gymnasium from 10 a.m. till 4 p.m. On Sunday, the Dr. James A. Mooney Scholarship Award auditions will take place in Hart Chapel at 2:30 p.m. On Monday, April 10th, the Visiting Writer Series will host Robin Becker in the Stanford Gallery at 8 p.m. And remember, Tuesday, April 11th is the opening night of Isidore Duncan Sleeps with the Russian Navy at 8 p.m. in the Marwick Boyd Auditorium. I'm Corey Pittman for TV5 News.
Thanks, Corey. We now return our attention to the story we brought you at the top of the newscast. Today is the Pennsylvania primary. Our primary 2000 coverage continues. Mark Desitakis joins us now with some more information on the early coverage.
That's right, I'm back. Couldn't get rid of it. Here for another story. Just to give you a quick update on some of the results we have in. Of course, these are very early results with the polls only closing, a little over 40 minutes ago. What we know is that George W. Bush is going to get the Republican nomination and Al Gore is going to get the Democratic nomination. But what has turned out to be the largest race this year is the U.S. Senate race on the Democratic side. That person will be put up against Rick Santorum in the fall. Now, as I said, with some very early results in, right now we have Tom Foley leading with 41%, Ron Klink with 27%, and Allison Schwartz with 20%. Now, those are the three frontrunners we've been hearing a lot. Now, you should also know that these are very early results. We don't know what part of the state they are coming from. So that could also have an influence on who the votes are for. So, of course, stay tuned tomorrow night. We will have a full recap of everything that happened, like I said earlier, with Borough Council and, of course, with Primary 2000. Back to you, Carolyn.
Thanks, Mark. A group of dads in San Francisco are calling themselves the Grateful Dads. The group hikes through the hills of Marin County, California with a 30-pound pack, but the key is what's in the pack. A baby, diapers, bottles, and the many other items that are necessary to sustain a baby's minute-by-minute needs. So Dad takes the kids on a hike because they say it's better than the gym and it gives them a chance to bond with the baby. Plus, Mom likes it too because they get a day off.
That sounds nice. That's the news for tonight. Join Carrie LaPue and Cynthia Walker tomorrow night for updates on tonight's stories as well as tomorrow's news at 8. I'm Christy Herman.
And I'm Carolyn Kelly. Have a good night.
Copyright 2000 TV5 News, bringing coverage closer to home.